Renee, an associate editor of BookPage, and I'm here at the Loveless Cafe with Elisa Huntsman, who's the author of Desserts from the famous Loveless Cafe, which is our cooking top pick for September. And this is indeed the famous Loveless Cafe. It is one of my personal favorite places to come eat lunch and to bring out-of-town guests when they come to visit me in Nashville. And as you can see, we are here with some beautiful desserts that Elisa is going to talk to us about. So first, if you could just tell me a little bit about when you started cooking at the Loveless at 2004. I know you had to kind of invent a bunch of recipes.
Well, they didn't have any recipes. They never served dessert before, so I was hired and I was told what the menu would be, and that was as far as it went. Everything else, I just I winged it completely.
Was it at all intimidating to come to such a storied restaurant? And I'm sure that your diners here are pretty discerning.
No, I wasn't afraid as far as the desserts were concerned, but knowing that I was going to have to put my hands in biscuit dough every now and then, that worried me. But, you know, I was lucky that Carol Faye was able to teach me, so I'm okay with that now, but I tend to stick to the desserts.
Well, can you tell me a little bit about what we have here? These are all desserts from the cookbook.
These are all desserts that are in the cookbook, and we have some that are on the menu all the time, and some that fluctuate. Like we always have our famous banana pudding, which I make the custard for that fresh. I make my own cookies. I don't use those little things in the box. I don't like them, so I don't use them. I think we should.
And that's why it's so good.
And coconut cream. This is our top-selling dessert. Well, I shouldn't say it's our top-selling dessert. It's one of two. It goes back and forth between banana pudding and coconut cream. But as far as pies are concerned, it's always coconut cream on top. That's always on the menu. Can't take that one off. I think there'd be some angry people if I did. We have fudge pie, another one of our favorites. That's usually the number 2 seller. And that one is never off the menu. If I run out of fudge pie and coconut cream, something's wrong. We have steeplechase, which is something I generally bring out in the spring around the time that the Iroquois steeplechase is held over in Warner Park. But it's popular, so I bring it, back every now and then. And it is basically a pecan pie with a ton of Jack Daniels and chocolate chips in it. So it's not for the offended heart. And we have our cobbler. We almost always have a cobbler or a crisp or sometimes a buffalo or something like that. This one is blackberry, and it's got a biscuit on top. But not the famous biscuits that, not the biscuits that you'll get on the plate. That's different. That one's sweet. And then cheesecake, something I like to rotate through. Every now and then we'll have cheesecake, and this time it's banana split, which is in the cookbook. So if you are feeling like you want to try making a cheesecake, I say go for it. You've got a great recipe in there.
Well, where do you get your inspiration for your recipes? I know you have a kind of a bibliography in the back of your book with some older cookbooks. And
I look around. I scour the internet. I read magazines. I watch TV shows. Mainly, it comes from spending a lot of time by myself in the back at odd hours of the day. When you're by yourself and you have nobody to talk to, it's easy to think and come up with ideas. Because there's no other entertainment. So I do that, but mainly I keep a blog and I do things on there on a regular basis. And by looking at other people's blogs and other websites, I see ideas. Going to farmers markets, seeing what's in season. I do a lot of gardening at home, so wandering through the garden. It's just everywhere. There's inspiration everywhere if you just stop and look.
Well, when you are cooking for yourself, not for your customers, do you have a personal favorite dessert, or do you lean toward chocolate or puddings or
chocolate? Usually, if I'm going to make something specifically for myself as a dessert, if I'm really going to go all out and make myself something, it's probably going to be something like cookies with lots of chocolate in them, ice cream. But that's generally where I go. I'm an ice cream fiend.
Well, we're here in July. We're about 95 degrees right now, but we've had some beautiful produce this season. Is there anything that you're working with in particular?
Well, like I said, I do a lot of gardening at home, and I was standing outside yesterday admiring my little fig tree, and I noticed that they're starting to come into being ripe. I could see some of them were turning brown, and I was thinking, we're going to be doing something with figs.
Well, finally, the Loveless opened in 1951, so you're celebrating your 60th anniversary this year, and there are a lot of places in Tennessee that are meat and threes or where you can get fried chicken, but what do you think it is about the Loveless that has endeared it to so many people? Why has it become such an institution?
I would have to say it has a lot more to do with the biscuits than anything else. I really do. I think it's the biscuits. I mean, the barbecue, the fried chicken, yeah, those are staples here, and they sell tons of it, literally. But it's the biscuits. When you hear people talk about the Loveless, the biscuits are what they're always talking about. That's what it is. I think it's because they're homemade, they're fresh, they're always hot out of the oven, and that's all you can smell. So I think it's the biscuits that bring people
And
in.
served with preserves.
That and the homemade preserves. I honestly think that's what keeps people coming here.
Well, finally, if a reader picks up your cookbook and they want to start with a recipe, what do you think they should start with? Do you have
I would say that when I worked on this book, I chose recipes that I use here. And the reason why I use them here is because they're easy to produce. I don't have time for complicated. I don't have time for sophisticated. Not only is it's time consuming to do that kind of dessert, it's just not appropriate here. This is a country restaurant. People want something that's like what grandma made or what mama made. So I keep it simple and I keep it easy. So I would say in almost every chapter of that book is something that even a beginner can tackle. You can,
simple ingredients?
Yeah, simple and easy. Because I'm lazy. I hate to say it, but yes, folks, I'm lazy. I don't want to have to put a lot of work into it either. I want it to be quick and foolproof. So, I mean, for the true person that is really seriously intimidated by doing anything in the kitchen, I say start with a cobbler. You can't go wrong with a cobbler because even if you screw it up, it doesn't matter. It's still going to be dessert in a bowl. And it's still going to taste good. Scoop of vanilla ice cream and you've got it.
Well, I wish that you all could see this cookbook. I'll just hold it up, but it is really beautiful.
Yeah, the photographer Karen Mordecai was amazing to work with.
I mean,
I'm thrilled.
these
with
pictures
those.
look like the real deal in front of us. So, okay, well, thank you so much, Elisa, for talking to BookPage readers and telling us about your recipe. And I hope you're all hungry and you go pick it up and
Yeah, it's come eat pie.
yeah.